98% of people procrastinate, but only 1% actually admit it when their boss asks. In the next 10 minutes, you'll know exactly why you put things off and how to finally outsmart your own sneaky brain. According to research on temporal discounting, the third sign is the one psychologists say is almost impossible to fake. Stick around. You'll want to find out if you have it. Let's just get this out of the way. If you're watching this video instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, congratulations, you are officially a procrastinator. That's right, you didn't click a productivity video. You clicked a video about why you don't watch productivity videos. It's like looking for gym tips at a donut shop. Seriously, procrastination is the only habit where the actual hobby is avoiding the hobby. You'll organize your sock drawer before you draft that email. You'll deep clean a toaster you haven't used since 2017 just to avoid reading one PDF. If the Olympics had a creative avoidance event, you'd medal for alphabetizing your spice rack instead of doing your taxes. You are gifted. But here's what's wild. Procrastinators aren't lazy. In fact, you might be a master at working hard at the wrong things. So what makes the psychology of procrastinators so weird? Let's break down the surprising traits, starting with the one nobody wants to admit. 1. The tomorrow me optimist. You know this person. Heck, you are this person. They write things like, I'll start on Monday, but it's already Tuesday. They're the eternal optimist about their future self. Psychologists call this temporal discounting. It's our brain's way of making the future seem less real than right now. So we imagine future you as a superhero who drinks green smoothies and files taxes on time, but future you is just present you with a bigger mess. It's like expecting your pet goldfish to suddenly start doing your taxes next week. Not happening. Relatable scenario? You promise yourself you'll start that project tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, you reschedule with yourself like a bad Tinder date. Hey, I'm really busy. Can we do next week? Classic. But here's where it gets weird. 2. The task time warper procrastinators believe this will only take 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's building furniture from IKEA or writing a 10-page report. 5 minutes tops. This is planning fallacy in action. Your brain thinks every task lives in a magical time warp where emails write themselves and laundry folds itself. Why does this happen? According to research, our brains are terrible at estimating how long things take. We're optimistic to the point of delusion. The punchline: if you think something is a 5-minute task, set a timer. 2 hours later, you'll be arguing with a stapler. Relatable example? You start clearing out one email, and suddenly you're deep in a 2009 thread about a potluck. Did I ever pay Susan for the guacamole? And you'd think that's the craziest part, but oh no. 3. The Perfectionist Paradox. Procrastinators are weirdly perfectionistic. You'd assume procrastination is about not caring. Nope, it's often about caring too much. Psychologists call this maladaptive perfectionism. If you can't do it perfectly, you just won't do it, which is perfect in its own way if your goal is to never finish anything. Punchline: nothing says I'm a perfectionist like avoiding a task so thoroughly you forget what it was. Relatable scenario: you spend 3 hours picking the perfect font for your resume and then never send it. You're the Pablo Picasso of not clicking submit. If this is already blowing your mind, I actually put together a full guide that breaks down all of these patterns step by step. It's in the description if you want to go way deeper on this. Seriously, it'll help you out-procrastinate your own procrastination. Now back to the psychological roast. 4. The Dopamine Detective. Now this one is going to personally attack about 90% of you watching this. Procrastinators are constantly chasing little hits of pleasure, checking your phone, scrolling memes, suddenly remembering you need to dust your houseplants. This is called instant gratification. Your brain is a detective, hunting for the tiniest crumb of dopamine, so you can avoid the big, scary, boring task. Punchline: you'll do anything for a quick win, even if that win is just putting on pants today. Relatable scenario: you're working but somehow know the entire Wikipedia history of the spoon. It's impressive, but your boss isn't convinced. Okay, but the next one is the one nobody talks about. 5. The Overcommitment Olympian procrastinators. Love to say yes to everything. Can you help me move this weekend? Absolutely. Want to join our book club? Sign me up. Can you run the bake sale and the triathlon? Sure, why not? I wasn't doing taxes anyway. Psychologists call this overcommitment avoidance. If you say yes to everything, you always have a reason for why you didn't do the original thing you were supposed to do. It's brilliant in a self-sabotaging way. Punchline: your to-do list is longer than a CVS receipt, but you're still agreeing to organize a neighborhood squirrel census. Relatable? You have 4 planners all empty except for start planning. But here's where it really gets ridiculous. 6. The Pro-Level Rationalizer procrastinators are grandmasters at rationalizing. Why didn't you finish that project? Well, I read that creative people need more downtime. It's actually healthier to wait until the last minute. There's a study, somewhere, probably. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. You create stories to make yourself feel better about not doing what you know you're supposed to do. Punchline: you'll defend your procrastination with more research than you put into the actual task. Relatable example? You've watched 12 videos on how to be productive, still not productive, but wow, you're an expert. 7. The deadline daredevil. Procrastinators secretly, or not so secretly, love a little chaos. You wait until the absolute last second, then sprint to the finish like you're auditioning for a reality show called Beat the Clock. This is deadline motivation. Our brains get a jolt of adrenaline that finally overrides all the avoidance. The twist? You might actually work best under pressure, but it's a dangerous game. Punchline: your best ideas come at 3 a.m., but so does existential dread. Relatable? You're printing your presentation 2 minutes before the meeting, praying the printer's in a good mood. So what ties all this together? Psychologically speaking, procrastinators are basically time travelers with amnesia. You bounce between seeing your future self as a superhero, your present self as a victim, and your past self as a saboteur. Cognitive dissonance, temporal discounting, instant gratification. They're like the three stooges of your brain, poking each other until your to-do list cries uncle. Honestly, it's like your mind is a group project, and every part of you thinks the other parts will do the work. Spoiler: nobody does the work. The psychology: we avoid discomfort and seek pleasure, but our brains are terrible at balancing long-term rewards with short-term fun. It's like trying to diet at a birthday party. The cake is right there. Willpower, gone. Your brain wants comfort now, problems later. That's why you're suddenly deep cleaning the fridge instead of having uncomfortable conversations with your boss about missing deadlines. Look, if you actually want to get better at reading people, including yourself, by the way, not just watching videos about it, I put together a complete guide called the Human Behavior Code. It breaks down every pattern, every signal, every trick we talked about today, plus a ton more. It's all in the description below. Less manipulation, more opportunity, money, and better relationships. Or you could procrastinate on clicking it. See? That's the real test. And even if you just want to keep watching free videos, hit subscribe. I drop new psychology breakdowns every week. Now, if you think this was wild, wait until you see what happens when people with these procrastination traits become bosses. Spoiler: chaos, comedy, and a lot of last-minute pizza. Which of these personally attacked you the most? Let me know below.